"2020 has been an extraordinary year for us as Union Baptist Church, as well as us as a nation. We have been undoubtedly stretched, stressed, grieved, and we have been changed forever. The pandemic and the outcome of our national election has revealed in this process who we really are to our core, and it has identified the transforming work that the church needs to do. And so the question that we must wrestle with as a nation and as a people of faith is this: how do we come together as people of God to move towards justice and equality in a country whose divisions have been deeply deepened? Well, let me address this poignant question with two responses, and I'll bring my remarks to a close. Response number one: we must move together towards justice and equality by preaching the gospel. Watch this. We realize that the Black community is full of supporters of both President and in transition Donald Trump and President-elect Joseph Biden. We are diverse for sure, and our task is not to affirm and appease or accept the arguments and messages of different camps. We have but one message, and our message is Jesus Christ, Him crucified, Him dead, Him buried, and Him raised from the grave with all power in His hand. That's our message. God is not partial to blue or red or Democrats or Republicans or donkeys or elephants or liberals or conservatives, but God is decidedly on the side of the oppressed, the forgotten, the poor, the marginalized, and certainly children locked up in cages. On this, our 133rd anniversary, let us continue to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and serve the left behind, the evicted, the wrongfully convicted, and the hungry even better than ourselves. Let us keep preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. And as John Wesley says, if necessary, use words. Well, the second response, and I'll close with this, to this question: we must move together towards justice and equality. How? By simply doing the work. This world needs a church who is willing to roll up its sleeves and to do the work. The work that is needed has been revealed in this pandemic and in the process of this national election. Many of us thought that this vote on November 3rd would be proof of our morality, and surely this country would stand together and rebuke dishonesty and racism and white supremacy and misogyny and voter suppression and transactions over love and compassion and profit over people. But that is not what happened. Instead, millions of people voted to keep racism and white supremacy and other isms in place as long as their self-serving interests were being satisfied and served. They were okay with what has been happening. I tell you, church, we've got a lot of work to do, and the strength of the Black vote was underestimated. Can I tell a story? But as the presidential voting results were coming to an end, listen, the world was watching. Guess who? Guess who got the last word in the key battlegrounds in this state? One candidate was expected to win Wisconsin, and that same candidate had resounding leads in West Pennsylvania and in Georgia until votes where Black and brown people resided in Kenosha, in Philadelphia, and Atlanta started to be counted and recorded. And isn't it marvelous that the hands that pick cotton and tobacco have played a key role in deciding the outcome of a national election and determining who sits on the seat in the highest office of the land, because we never stop serving the one who sits on the highest seat of all seats. Isn't it wonderful that other voices refuse to do the work of justice, were met at the ballot box by descendants of African slaves that said no to racism and white supremacy? And together we turned the tables, flipped the script, and flipped states that hadn't been flipped in decades. Sisters and brothers, on this occasion, let us draw inspiration for what we see happening all around us. Imagine the places we can go together as we preach the gospel and do the work of justice. And using my sanctified imagination, I can see forces of those, or the faces of those who have preached the gospel, those who have done the work of justice with moral imagination. Can you see their faces now? Representative John Lewis, Representative Elijah Cummings, Reverend Dr. C.T. Vivian, Reverend Joseph Lowry, Nassau pioneer Katherine Johnson, Coach John Thompson, Brother Chadwick Boseman. Can you see them hanging over the banister of glory, celebrating this moment with us as a people, telling us, keep preaching the gospel, keep doing the work. Change has come. Imagine the places we can go and the realities, those stubborn, difficult situations can change if we do not grow weary and well-doing, for we are reaping in due season, because these folk fainted not. This is our season. This is our time. Keep preaching the gospel. Keep doing the work of social justice. Our change has come. It's time for us to rise up and be the people that God has called us to be. Rise up and let's go to those places together. We can get there from where we are. Let's go.